Let's look at another champ select. Cool. So first pick Kassadin, sure. Gnar, Rumble. Let's see. Ooh, Phreak gets to play Kalista. That's fun. Faker gets LeBlanc versus Kassadin. That's supposed to be a good matchup for Kassadin is the thing. SKT seems to not agree. Rumble versus Gnar is Snowbally. Either one can win. Kalista Morg is one of my favorite dual lanes. One of my favorite dual lanes in the game. Kalista Morg is super good. So Thresh into Morg is pretty hard. You have the chance of outplaying and like making him guess the hook. And like you black shield the wrong target, the hook lands the other one, the flay lands the other one. That's really slick, but it's hard. It's just very difficult. I actually really like Nunu with Corki, especially now that Corkis are buying Blade of the Ruin King. They should be buying Eye Edge over Last Whisper, but by and large, a Bloodlusted Corki does a lot of damage. So I actually like that champion quite a bit. Let's see, composition-wise, looking at things that might stand out. So they have enough team fighting because... Yeah, so the team fighting is actually pretty good, but there's no tank line here for GE Tiger. So if SKT crash in with, like, Gnar Nunu, GE can't really hold. Like, nothing can really peel for Kalista. Not really. Like, you can try to hold the line, but, like... This team is basically just damage, and the damage is the peel. And that's tricky, because if you don't get AoE'd, nothing happens to you. And so it means that picks are really easy, because there's no, like, CC tank to keep your team alive, really. But if GE Tigers ever get ahead, like, any given 3 members in this team will, like, just destroy people on SKT. If they ever get ahead, it's just, like, Jarvan dunks and, like, any 2 follow-up champions just is a bunch of kills. Their Siege is crap, though. They have 1 range champion, and it's Kalista. She's pretty bad at it. Which means all they can do is set up Dragon and Baron baits and try to out-rotate, but that's hard against a Sightstone jungler. SKT... The thing is, the engage isn't that reliable because it's Gnar instead of, like, Malphite or Lissandra or something. So they can't always punish this. Like, SKT's engage is kind of telegraphed, and it walks right into Rumble. And Morg, really. You have to, like, SKT has to walk at you to engage. Unless you get a really good Gnar flank. So, like, I really want to see if they can get a Gnar flank, but that's hard. Because Gnar flank's normally from teleport, and you have to teleport when you're, like, about to reach Mega Gnar, like, from lane, so it's, like, a really obvious window. And teams get better and better at that. GE Tigers have okay Siege. Actually, it's pretty good. I would say it's above average. Because you can Lantern out the 80 carry. Faker can hit things. Even Marin can hit things pretty safely. Hexdrinker first, I expect, from Marin. He should do well against Smeb, especially with Hexdrinker. It'll be really hard for Smeb to deal damage. The gank assistance is actually okay with Gnar Nunu. Just because there's no... like, Smeb's only escape tool is a speed buff. Slows are good against speed buffs. So they can, like, really easily force Smeb to flash and then probably still kill him. Because if you Blood Boil both champions and get an Ice Blast, he's just dead. So that's pretty cool. Jarvan Rumble isn't really great against Gnar. As long as Gnar saves Hop, like, he can just jump away from Jarvan EQ and, like, nothing happens. He should never need to hop in, so Marin should be pretty safe against ganks. Kuro should never have to be afraid of Nunu ever in his life. Prey and Gorilla should be safe against Nunu as well, because Black Shield's really easy to use against Nunu. And you can bind him, Nunu just has to walk at you. So there's really, the only ganks that SKT can get are top lane. But Bengi's is there to ward up anyway. Now, mid lane, the early pressure does go to Faker. But I feel like as time goes on, it's, like, harder to be... Who's going to save Smite? Okay. That's interesting. Oh, he's going for the red. Oh, this is cute. Okay, so he's saving Smite because he wants to steal red buff. And he learned Blood Boil for move speed. Okay, sure. But SKT's duo got pushed in. This is really tricky. So they are counting on the fact. Oh God. Oh God. That's so good. Metal Gear Solid, baby. There's the trinket ward. Bengi saved his trinket ward as well. It's another part of it. He only would put his trinket down at 45 seconds in. So that he had this... actually, no, he put it down at like 40 seconds in. Or like 30 seconds, which you can't even do in a meaningful way. So that his trinket was back up in time to trinket ward to watch his escape. God, that was sick. That was so sick. Man, that's so cool. That's so cool. I think his bot got pushed in, so if they saw him at all, he was gone. Okay, so let's see what we got here in this game. So Faker is pushing in Kuro slowly. Problem is, Faker doesn't get... Yeah, so this is how Faker does it. He waits for Kuro's Q to be down, and then goes for the trade. He lets Kuro harass him and says, okay, you have no shield. Let's go. Now, the thing is, level 1 Castle Q is actually a lot of damage. It's like 80 or something. So, the very early trades are actually quite good. 80 damage on Faker is a lot. But, really the level up incentive is the shield. And so, as levels come in, Faker gets more damage. Wow, really smart by Faker then. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, he slowed the wrong one. And now Bengi's here, so he's totally safe. Kuro flash slowed the wrong one. That's a pretty severe misplay. It's also very smart by Faker to not panic W. If he had panicked W, Lee would have knocked him up and broken the distortion. And then nothing would have happened. He would have gotten really screwed. Bengi can't stay here. Bengi does not have a mid laner. He cannot clear that ward. Even though many people would want to clear that ward. And he's like, well, I have red buff and I'm new and I have poison armor. Maybe still. I should be able to fight. No, you can't. He would get completely boned. This is really tricky. So Lee got a ward on his first recall. Bengi has smite consume. Lee has smite as well. Bengi's like, yo, dog. I'll mess with this guy a little bit. Bam! Now, Kuro's here, though, but LeBlanc can show. Bengi flashes. LeBlanc's here. They know Kuro's no flash. There's no chase available. That's pretty good. That was good by Bengi. And, of course, Smiting Red gives him health, which is nice, too. It was really slick to get Kassadin up there, though. Kuro really roamed up. This is not going to be in a replay, so I want to show you guys. So watch. I want to show you something. So, Faker recalled, right? Everyone knows Faker recalled. So Lee's like, I'm going to go for this buff, yo. Which is smart of him, because he knows there's no mid lane support. Kuro shoves the wave in a turret, and then runs to red buff. He actually shouldn't be hitting the turret. He should be running to red buff already. But now Faker has to see us under turret. Faker's stuck there for a little while. So Kassadin is ready to slow this Nunu already. There's a consume smite. Kassadin's already here. Bam, lands a slow, forces the flash, he ignites him. Faker's like, oh god, there's actually still minions. Look at that blue dot on the minimap right there by the turret. There's actually still a minion there. Faker's like, oh shit, you're right, that's happening. And so he helps the team out. Comes in time. Really well done, hops back out. Help your jungler do their things. Both those mid laners did the right thing. Faker, unfortunately... Oh, he missed the W, but Kuro's out of mana. Kuro has to recall. Faker has a... because of the flask, he's got decent mana. And now Fiendish Codex. So right now, by the way, because Kuro stayed, he got to pressure the buff. but he got a bad recall. So, like, he might be waiting around for Catalyst money, and he's probably another minute or two away from Catalyst money because he's not getting great CS here. But he's getting pushed out by Faker. Like, not getting Catalyst on the recall is honestly just like, you just got to suck it up. Like, he's going to miss so much CS by being shoved in like this and not having the mana to CS with. Like, oh, he missed the cannon. He's probably going to miss the melee too. He's still at 3-2 CS, by the way. He's on a turret, bleeding minions. And he got 1, 2 CS. 3 CS. Okay, he got some casters back. Okay, fine. He got 4. He got 4 CS from a double wave being pushed into his turret. A double wave got pushed in. And he got 4 CS. Because he wanted to wait for Catalyst to recall. Because he had no mana to CS with and no health to kind of survive with. He couldn't contest the minion kills. And then because he took a bad recall, he's going to lose a 3rd wave under the turret. Like, this is the penalty you pay when you stay in lane after a forced recall. Because you typically have run out of resources via the fact that you were trying to force the recall. Your opponent's going to come back with an item and full resources. And it's exacerbated with Flask. Because it means that Faker has actually like a flask of charges. And look at this, Kuro, like, there's no way Kuro can actually wave clear. There's no way he doesn't have AoE damage. His rank 1E, like, he's going to, like, last hit some minions. The melees are going to die. Actually, 2 melees die. And Faker, because he got to dictate the recall, and then he freaking recalled himself, got to get a good purchase. Faker's out of cooldowns. Really good flash play there. Really good flay. Kuro's going to die. Yup. That was sick as hell. That was just, like, ridiculously sick. No equalizer? Oh, it's already down. Okay, he already used it. God, that was so good. That was so good. Now, the thing is, Kuro wouldn't, like, be really any higher level or have any more, like, health worth of items. So, like, the reason he died wasn't really because of the forced recalls anymore. Unless Faker did... Well, I guess Faker's 7 now. I don't know if he was 7 before. Okay, so we haven't watched the other lanes. Bot lane. Hurricane for Prey. Love it. Love Hurricane. Gorilla, though, got freaking ripped there. See, that's what I talk about with the outplay potential. Is like, look, you can Black Shield hooks, but if you ever screw up, you basically die. Right? Morg lost a whole bunch of health and like 3 health potions. That's pretty rough. Let's see. So that's cleared out. Whatever. Mid's just kind of going back and forth. With Catalyst, Kuro's not really going to lose that much health anymore. Now that the waves die faster, it's actually easier for Kuro to trade in a way because there's less windows for him to get jumped on by Faker, so he's more likely to land that Q shield. Like, the weird thing is it almost gets easier for Kuro at this point. Which is weird, but it's kind of true. Well, it's not really a power drop for Prey. Getting recurve bow is actually enough to fight back. They know an extended trade actually goes Callista's way, so SKT have to be really cautious here. They have to kind of play from far away and like try to play bursty, which Morgana's good at. So really nothing bad done here. But because they were the ones pushing the bot lane in, once again. So I want to point this out. I'm going to go back and because I want to illustrate this lesson. Watch this. Okay. So that's happening over there. I don't care about this. What I care about is the bottom lane. Watch the minimap. SKT have the push lead. They have a Sheen on a Corki, and they even have Nunu around, whereas like the blue was getting handed over to the mid laner right now. So it's a 3v2, which means GE Tigers cannot fight. They cannot contest. SKT get to push, right? They get to dictate the recall here. And you can see, Corki hits everything once. Phospho Bombs clears the casters. Rockets clears the melees. Rockets again, just clear the last one for gold. And they had already started Dragon. They know the bot lane cannot show up. And actually, they kind of know that Jarvan and Kassadin are top lane. Now, they own the recall timing. So they could push Dragon and recall. Like, they could have just recalled straight up and like bend the lane first. Or they could push Dragon. This is the tricky thing is, GE Tigers could have stayed and shoved the next wave in. They wouldn't do it very fast, but they could have, and they could have made Corki lose some gold. Instead what's going to happen is Corki's going to show up pretty late to this wave. And so the next wave is coming in pretty soon. He's going to recall. But the thing is, because he showed up to that wave late, that wave's going to mostly still be alive when Prey and Gorilla show up, and they're going to get most of that CS and almost all the experience. They will also, with the Hurricane that Prey has, be able to shove the next wave into the turret and make Corki lose quite a bit. So because Corki took 15 seconds to walk over to Dragon and then walk back and then clear the wave kind of late, he's actually going to get a worse recall than Prey. That's not a big deal. It means basically he's paying half a wave for Dragon, which is worth it, obviously. Marin, okay, yeah, he hops away. Right, so you can see that wave's under turret. Corki's still not there. In fact, the next wave gets cleared under turret as well, so it's like really easy for like Prey to roam. He's under no threat right now. And so he gets to take that wave down. Under the turret, hop away, basically force Bang to stay under his turret, and right now, if Prey had wards in his inventory, he could ward up the south jungle. And there'd be no contest. Instead, he turns that gold, the half wave that he had before, into now double golems, and he can show back up to the wave in time. So, as you pay it forward, right, Prey double shoved hard, knowing that he was safe because he saw Peekaboo. But essentially, because Bang went to Dragon instead of recalling off of that first shove, he missed. There's nothing to do here. He shouldn't do this. He should. Oh God, why? Why? They don't know Peekaboo. Oh my God, that was so bad. That was so bad. Why would you do that? He missed the ult. But yeah, so because Corki went for Dragon instead of recalling, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but because he did it, he lost half a wave of minions, and then also double golems worth of golden experience, which is like 110 gold or something. Like Corki basically lost 110 gold because he helped Dragon. Is essentially what that means. Yeah, so this is just dumb. Lands a bind, but like you don't know if Thresh is there. In fact, he's probably there because you haven't seen that guy in years. Really silly misplay. The thing is, this 2-on-2 is actually really good for GE Tigers. Like, they could win that 2-on-2 if Morgana didn't get one shot. Like, if Morgana was able to like, self-Black Shield and Soul Shackles, GE Tigers probably win that fight. Because they either focus Morgana, and then Prey gets like 12 Ren stacks on Corki, or they focus Prey, and Prey kites back and still Morgana lands a stun. And then he gets 12 Ren stacks on Corki. Like, the 2-on-2 with Warning is good for GE Tigers. But they got ripped apart by a stun lock by Thresh. Now, Sorkshoes being on Corki flips that matchup a bit, and it's now really, really hard to beat GE Tigers. But, like, that was a good fight if they didn't misplay it. I'm tired. It's 2:30 in the morning. Woo, Faker doing good things there. He's 2-0. SKT making some really good roam plays overall. You can see that Kuro is actually keeping up in CS. Right? Remember how I said it was going to get easier for Kuro? And he was down like 15 CS, and now it's equal? Told you. You can't really push out Catalyst Cassidy as LeBlanc. Like, this is why this matchup's hard. It's like, he had to get a flash Thresh play to get the kill, and then he still went equal. Bang uncontested in the bottom lane. Sorks is making him pretty scary. Ooh, he almost overextended there. That was actually a small chance for him to go for Gorilla. Or, ult Gorilla into Bang, but I guess he had Valkyrie, so really nothing could be done. Mid lane could just be attacked right here. It's really interesting. Korean teams really do not seem like they want to push turrets down. They really want to like leave it up and go for wards or roams instead. And Faker's already behind this guy. Now, can he land the E? Got his W back, lands the E. Faker taking a whole bunch of damage. But he just ran out of damage to deal. Damn. Damn. That's just... Yep, they don't stay for the turret. They go for the roam. And it just wasn't answered. Like, just really great aggressive cross-map moves by SKT. It's really impressive seeing him do that. And that's what we said, right? There's no tank line. There's a lot of squishy champions. It was very well done by SKT. Now GE Tigers did get the bottom lane because so many people went top. It allowed for good things to happen elsewhere. Peekaboo was roaming around with Faker the whole time. Peekaboo is always in the right place. It's really crazy. It's like really impressive. Faker. Wow, he actually landed the E. You can see that like he doesn't really win the trade against Kuro though. Like he does some damage, but Kuro's a catalyst. Like he's I guess kind of far from level 11, I think, but yeah, no, he's playing back. Whatever. Prey farms the jungle, taxes it. Welcome to Kalista. She taxes jungles a lot. Alright, let's see. What's next for these guys? So SKT are ahead. They want to contest Dragon. They clear some wards away. They get a pink ward in the pit to kill wards more. Defensive pink ward is already in the inventory of GET, so they're able to clear the offensive wards away from SKT. You can see, right, they're trying to get some reasonably aggressive green wards down. Good sweeper by GE Tigers. It's a very standard ward to have there. And suddenly all the offensive vision from SKT is gone, and they immediately give up control of Baron. That said, though, who do they want to fight? Marin does have teleport. So GE Tigers are smartly running away from that. Prey, God Hook, and he's dead. But hey, still a 2-for-1 GE Tigers way. Because, wait, how was that a 2-for-1? Oh, because the damage comp, right. So, that hook was incredible, by the way. That was incredible by Peekaboo. He was like, look, I'm going to go for the hook on the escape. It's so fucking good. Holy shit, Peekaboo is so good. So they blow up Prey. He's free. But they have Rumble. So even though Prey dies, it's a bunch of squishies and a Morgana ulti. So Kuro has like full mana. You can't fight this Kassadin. This Kassadin is gonna win you like any team fight you get into right now. GET should like try to be fighting. They would love if SKT showed up right now. That's really weird. I feel like they could just take that dragon. Like Bang's out of mana. Faker's mid. He has blue buff, but like who cares? Peekaboo and Bangi could not possibly show up to the fight. And you have a Kassadin who can like single-handedly win you the team fight. I don't know, that's kind of weird. I'm surprised GE Tigers backed away from that. But like these teams play like really, really risk averse. They play for like really high percentage plays with almost no risk of them failing. Good dash by Kuro. That's why they don't sit there and siege turrets like ever. They just play for like incremental ward gain. They play really, really slow. And because of that, SKT, they off the recall. They just rush right back into Dragon. GE Tigers, they just gave away map control. They won the team fight, and they're so risk averse. They just gave away map control. It's really strange. They definitely could have stayed for drag, like 100%. Oh my god, Peekaboo is so ridiculous. But guess what, Kalista? Yay, Kalista. Alright, I'm getting tired. I'm like not even talking very much. Let's see. So, it is 2:45. Okay, it's only 2:30. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, so SKT playing pretty well with leads. Now, notice, by the way, I just want to pause and... No, I don't have to pause. Look at the ward lines here. Yeah, there's a ward, there's a ward, there's a pink ward, there's a green ward. Like, GE Tigers are aware of their ward line. You ward between your turrets. Like, you ward between... Like, look at that. You basically make a circle across the turrets you have standing, and that's your ward line. Like, really easily. You basically ward along the line of scrimmage of where you expect the teams to be standing. And if you're the team that's behind, it's usually alongside your own turrets. Because they're looking for dives, they're looking for rotations between the turrets. And you can track that if you keep wards between your turrets. GE Tigers do that. They get a kill on Marin for a kill on Lee. Not the worst thing in the world. But SKT are ahead. They just kind of push all lanes at once. This is what GE Tigers failed to do, by the way, is just aggressively push all the lanes. And it's like, yeah, okay, you get a couple of turret trades, you get a couple of kill trades, but SKT are really willing to just like press the advantage. I don't know if Bengi can really die here. Ren's not going to do that much to him, yeah. No attack damage yet on Prey. Oh god, Prey, he's trying. He's trying. Ice Blast. There are no minis left to lifesteal off of. Too bad. Alrighty, so Leandry's on Rumble is a good thing. GE Tigers, they're down 4k. They don't have any items on Kuro. He just hasn't gotten gold in a while. His farm's starting to fall behind. He needs to go to a side lane and just like hold split push. Like I think he can still withstand Faker a little bit until Faker gets death cap. Maybe I'm wrong on that front. Like why doesn't Kuro just like go Abyssal or something, right? So he can survive Faker and like help Smeb deal more damage. I hope he actually goes Abyssal. That would actually be a decent item here. Smeb just wants to go Zhonya's. Like Abyssal would set him back too far. Prey's almost at Bloodthirster. That's really good. He'll finally have meaningful damage once he gets some AD items in. SKT, so they send Bang into the mid lane as a turret sieger, although mid lane tier 2 is down. They send Faker into a long lane because LeBlanc is better in long lanes than Corki is. And they send Mara in top lane because he's away from Dragon, which will be contested soon-ish. Yep, he went Hexdrinker into Cowl into Randuin's, interestingly. Okay. Not Warmogs. Not Thornmail. I guess Randuin's is a good item. GE Tigers, though, they're sending 4 mid. They really want to get ward control back. Dragon's in 2 minutes. It's really almost never too early to start dragon control. As long as it's within 3 minutes, it's never too early to get dragon control. Because your wards are going to last long enough. And if they sweep, then great. Sweepers are on cooldown. You can put wards back down. You have another minute of no wards going down. Man, Faker's getting really good harass down. He's so impressive. Alright. 1 minute on drag. You can see Faker has 2 wards down here. He's got 1 right over the wall. He's like really aggressively watching bot lane. You can see SKT keep their ward line pushed up, right? They are warding where they expect action to be, which is now between all these like bot lane like tier 2 and the fallen turret mid. They're like, yeah, we're going to get the jungle warded because that's where we expect you guys to be moving around most often. That's the earliest warning we can get ourselves. That's reasonable. By the way, SKT already have 3 pink wards around Dragon, and they're staying up. Like, you notice that SKT only really ever recall like 1 guy at a time. And because so much of the map is dark, GE Tigers don't know where SKT are. Like, they don't know if Faker backed. They don't know if Faker's waiting in a brush. They have no idea what Faker's up to. Because pink wards got kept. And Bangi's waiting around on that side of the jungle saying, if you challenge my ward, I'm going to slow you, and then Faker's going to show up and kill you. And so it's really almost impossible for GE Tigers to get wards back. Those 3 pink wards, that brush on Dragon and Tri-Brush below, they really can't easily be contested. Unless SKT gives up the positioning, which they do here, because Marin's top lane. And because Marin's top lane, they go for the hard fight. They try to dive. They get Peekaboo. Bengi tries to buy time with a big slow because they want the team to get back in. They think they can win this. They do blow up Lee. And by the way, Prey's in the back line is just destroying people. Kuro, though, is powerful. But can't do enough. Let's get the chase kills. Yeah, 3 for 1. GE Tigers thought they could burst the damage output, but by the way, they have no tank line, so if Bang and Faker don't die, they have no one to impose will and like force SKT back. Did they blow Equalizer on just Peekaboo? If they did, there's no way they could win that fight afterwards. Because they know SKT can just teleport in. They know SKT are around. They had no vision. Of course SKT's around. And the replay will show that. Like, yeah, so they blow a lot. Like, okay, let's get Peekaboo, let's go. And if the Equalizer, like, if the Equalizer, well, I guess they didn't burn it there. Okay. So Lee actually just like or Faker gets all in by Lee. Equalizer like only hits Bang. That's so awkward. Like, I actually wish they did Equalizer on Thresh. Because they could have aimed the Equalizer to hit Thresh and the other parts of the front line. Like, I want to show you where the engage actually happened. And show you what I mean. Okay, right here. I like how I point at the screen. Equalizer should be right, like, Smeb's in range. This is a two-man knockup. Equalizer this shit right here. Equalizer that. Because the thing is, it's Leandri's Rumble, which means if the sooner he ults, the better, because it's percent current health damage. That's a guaranteed knockup. Equalizer right there. Peekaboo dies faster. He baits the team for less time. And Faker even takes the burst. Like, watch this. Bam. Really good juke back. But Equalizer right here would still hit Bangy. Would still burst on a Peekaboo. Still hit Bangy. And now Faker, with an Equalizer here, would not be able to rejoin the fight. He couldn't. He'd be running through an Equalizer and taking a whole bunch of damage. So they burn the Catalyst, or the Cataclysm now. Gorilla is Morgana. Summoner Heal got burned by Prey? What? He just Summoner Healed for no reason. That's rough. That goes down. This is a really good flank by Bang, though. Like, again, a full squishy lineup. Like, if you just have Corki attack with impunity, life is over. So these guys are all into support. They're now missing cooldowns. Faker's not zoned out by anything. Rumble ulti goes down now onto Bang. Super, super late. It's not going to do anything. There's no lockdown. Lee's already dead. Kuro's not helping. Like, synergize your Rumble ulti with the rest of your damn team. Like, put it on top of a Kuro E or something. Put it on top of a Jarvan EQ. I don't care what. Like, God, if he ulted Fake... Like, if he had ulted Faker at the start of the fight, Faker would be dead right here. Look at that. Look at that health bar. He would be dead right now. He would have been dead right now to Kuro. Instead of doing 300 health to Bang and nothing happening. Alright, so SKT pretty far ahead. The thing is, the fact that they're actually split pushing is really good for them. Marn on Gnar is very self-sufficient. That's really good for them. Faker is obviously self-sufficient here. He's really far ahead. No one can challenge him. And Bang just goes to one of the safer lanes. Like, he just stays in a dual lane with Thresh so that Peekaboo can, like, give him wards at points. It's actually a lot of damage. The QE is pretty strong. Do it. Do it. Pussy. God, the damage output. See, SKT can just keep playing aggressively with wards and just letting Faker poke over and over and over again. They can just use him as a poke champion. He's really under no threat. There's no targeted CC here at all. He can outplay... Unless you do a predictive binding by Gorilla, you can't out... Like, Faker can't be caught. It's actually impossible. So Faker again is on the side lane split push. Interesting that he's actually bottom lane because Baron is an objective theoretically, but it's an outer turret. And actually, this is really cute. Huh. So normally you put your teleport split pusher on the far side of the map, but Faker is so dominant that he can be on the wrong side of the map. Like theoretically, Baron could be contested, and because of that, GE Tigers have to sit top lane. And so he actually gets to push the turret down. Now, they're going to lose outer for it because they know Faker's gone, right? GE Tigers capitalizing on the fact that Faker went bottom. But you notice how much more aggressive SKT play the game, right? When GE Tigers were this far ahead, you had no turrets going down. You just had them try to slowly creep up ward control. SKT are aggressively split pushing and trading outer turrets for tier 2 turrets. Right? Mid tier 2, drop for top outer. Bot tier 2, drop for mid outer. SKT, even though they're trading a turret for a turret, are trading better turrets. And in fact, they're trading harder to kill turrets. Like, outer turrets are free anyway. Like, they're just gold waiting to be picked up. It just depends when you get it. And the fact that SKT are able to trade their own outer turrets for a tier 2 is massive. And it allows them to get ridiculously good ward control up. So that's really impressive. Really, really, really impressive. And again, SKT just play a much more aggressive mid game. They are willing to send a guy split pushing. And part of it's the fact that it's LeBlanc as their mid laner, as opposed to Xerath, who's like not a good split pusher. And the fact that like Mundo can't really make headway against Gnar, but they just never tried GE Tigers. Like they never went and like said, okay, let's go get wards up. They never like really tried to siege because sieging is kind of crappy in League of Legends, especially against the patch 4. Or 5.3 and 5.4 tier 2 turrets. But they just never really tried. Oh, God. Oh, dear Lord. And so now, SKT, once again, playing aggressively, going for Baron Nashor. Support's dead. There's really no way GE Tigers can face check anything. SKT just playing a much more aggressive game when they're ahead. And the thing is, they just did such a damn good job of getting aggressive wards in. They did really, like, look at those wards, those 3 wards down in the western jungle. That's so good. And now they got Baron, and just like, for some reason, GE Tigers like didn't realize that they could come back. Really bad equalizer, again. Good lantern, though. Man. I am a tired person. This is definitely my last game. Yeah, goodbye. He has really fast reflexes in the Black Shield. Like, he Black Shielded before Q even landed. Like, the guy is on the ball, but it just doesn't matter. There's too much damage there. He has Mikhail's, doesn't matter there either. I wonder what his MR is. Mikhail's is 40 MR, right? I think it's 40 MR. I want to see what Gorilla's magic resist is. If it's 60, that's bad. Like, a lot of players have been cutting magic resist glyphs for attack speed glyphs. But the problem is you can't, like, they've been cutting MR glyphs in order to get other glyphs, offensive glyphs. Like AP per level for mid laners, attack speed for AD carries, AP for supports, or mana regen. Problem is, when there's champions like LeBlanc in the game, like, if you're facing, say, a Kassadin, like, Kassadin gets in a range, you can hit him, right? You put a binding on him, you do things, Kassadin may have to zone you, maybe he has to jump out. That's at least somewhat reasonable. You know, Lysandra, it's telegraph, you can see her coming in. You know, she stands in place for a while. But LeBlanc, she just W's over, QRs, and W's back. Like, you can't counterplay that, you're just guaranteed to take damage. And not having the extra 12 MR, I think, is kind of a big mistake. Because it just means you're just going to get chunked out even faster and get one shot even more likely. Alright. Yep, Faker wandering through the jungle. He knows he's safe. There was an earlier skirmish. He knew GE Tigers were west jungle. Split push. Gnar, top lane. Tri-lane, mid. Faker, bottom. It's tried and true. If you have a split pushing mid laner, that's what you do. 1-3-1. Mid laner goes to the bottom side. And it's especially good with Baron buff because you buff up minions. Minions just start chunking turrets real hard. Then you get to play the rotation game. The 1-3-1 is really not about pushing down the turrets in the 1-3-1 formation. It's about creating pressure in all 3 lanes, then seeing what's weak and showing up to it. Top lane tier 2 is weak. They grabbed it right away. They're going to push top lane inhibitor turret as well. By the way, they got it down to half. And here we go. Bam! One's dead. Bam! Smeb's dead too. Marin died. Who cares? Peekaboo's going to die. Maybe. Who cares? They in the base, homie. SKT don't pull punches, dude. They play aggressively. Their siege isn't even bad. Like, they could have sieged. But they're confident. They play aggressively. Like, SKT... It's interesting how this works out, because GE Tigers... Yeah, so SKT, because they play more aggressively, they can throw games away by playing over-aggressive, and in fact, we kind of saw that in the first game against GE Tigers. But they also give less chance for comebacks, because they're just going to close the game out in 30 minutes flat. GE Tigers play so risk-averse that they're not going to give away any throws, but they're going to give their opponents time to kind of keep up in gold. And you actually saw, like, SKT got to win a couple of fights in Game 1 because GE Tigers just kept giving them opportunities to fight on equal footing instead of forcing the issue. They played for Dragon 3 times, and that was it. They didn't really play for Baron. They didn't Deathbrush ever. They didn't Siege, and they had the ability to a little bit. SKT with the inhibitor turret dead. They lost the Baron buff, but they're on Dragon 4. So that's pretty easy. Alrighty, well, now it's time for the game-winning push. They split Mara top. He has teleport. He can rejoin the team. Faker looks to do the poking things, as Faker does. Now, the interesting thing, they changed their 1-3-1. They actually have Corki mid, and they feel like he's safe, and he is, to be honest. Oh, by the way, they one-shot, they one-shot that guy. But they're just putting pressure in various different places, right? As long as Corki and LeBlanc are in different lanes, they can rotate it back. They get mid lane to fall. Smeb obviously cannot stop Marin. Marin's too big. Marin's tanky. He's got a Hex Drinker. Double inhibitor take. Really clean. Like, there's no way they can fight a 4v5. Faker's the guy who takes the junk farm because he's safe. He can get away. You notice, by the way, look at the CS numbers. They're all above 300 because SKT repeatedly split pushed all game long. The farm is actually a little bit higher than the GE Tigers game because GE Tigers had to group up more, or they tried to group up more. SKT much more willing to split push. They actually had Bengi really get them the ward coverage they needed to make that split push work. Equalizer, meh. Bengi gets out. Like, they're just not layering their spells. And, of course, this team's highly mobile. LeBlanc and Corki, of course, can get away from Cataclysm Equalizer. But that doesn't always matter. Like, just getting the initial damage down of Cataclysm Equalizer and getting everyone down to, like, 2/3 is enough for Callista, Morg, and Cassidy to clean up a fight. Like, if Smeb and Lee just go in together and Kuro goes right on top of that one, and then they ult in the Morgana, like, that comp can just work. Damn. Damn. That's rough. C9 gonna wreck General Electric Tigers Kappa. I love it. Kuro got ignited. His life is pain. Hey, he got Abyssal. Okay, good. He actually got an Abyssal Scepter. That's good for Kuro. But, yeah, it's still rough. SKT, pulling the punches. They rush back for Baron. They have Dragon in 30 seconds as well. You might as well take it. Well, we'll see. Okay, they got buff in the meantime. But at this point, the game is over. This is a matter of not pulling a Team Liquid and giving TSM the chance to get back in. Should be clean, though. Dragons in 12 seconds. You might as well. Like, honestly, it's so soon, you might as well take it. Oh, okay. If you misplayed that, I'd have been so sad. Oh, God. Gorilla. I'm so sorry for you. What kind of gorilla is Morgana? A gold back. That's what they're getting from killing him. They're getting gold back from killing him. Get it? There's one. And there's a surrender. Yep. Alright. I'm going to bed, dude. I'm